All right, guys, welcome back to day 2 of the Chili Bowl Pool Selection Show. We'll be doing Group 2 today. Real quick, before we get into it, though, make sure if you want to get involved in these Chili Bowl pools, which makes the pool and makes the race way more fun, I promise you, go to @Corey Nishaw on Twitter or @DirtTrackPools on Twitter. I will be doing pools for both of these guys. They are both a $30 entry fee. If you want to, you can also go in the link, or there's a link in the description below that'll take you directly to the Google form to fill out the pool. And I'm doing a giveaway as well. So if you would like to be involved in the giveaway here on the channel, all you have to do is comment your picks for this specific video down below. Hit the like button and make sure you are subscribed as well. If the pool that I am making in these videos finishes in the top 25, I will give away 3 Rodman Rundown merchandise items. If it finishes top 50, I'll give away 2 items. And if it finishes in the top 100, I will give away 1 item. The items are this. We've got a Rodman Rundown t-shirt. We've got a tumbler. I said koozie yesterday, but it's actually a tumbler cup. And then I've also got the wing panel as well. So I'll give away randomly to 3 people if it finishes in the top 25, so on and so forth. So yeah, enjoy this video. All right, guys, what's up? So here we go. We're getting into our Tuesday or our Monday through Friday Group 2 picks for the Chili Bowl next week. And as you can see, there are some different writing as far as the color goes here. The guys that are in the black writing, they have made the Saturday feature before at the Chili Bowl in their career. The rest of them in green, I have next to them their best ever finish on a prelim night. And then the guys in black, I also have how many attempts they've had at the Chili Bowl and how many times they've actually made the show on Saturday before as well. So I've got 2 markers today. I'm going to be marking off guys, in my opinion, that are, I don't know if unpickable is the right word, but maybe they just are grouped too high. Maybe there's just too many guys in the group that are like way better. I don't really know how to explain it the best way, but I'm going to be maybe crossing guys off that I think are unpickable for that specific group. And then I will be using the black marker to actually make my selection. So Monday, we'll start things off with Nick Hoffman. I talked about him on the Monday preview, saying that I think he is a driver that will finish inside the top 10. But looking at some of the other guys in this group, I just don't think I can personally take Nick Hoffman. So that did not work out as intended. I might not be able to do that for the rest of the way. I might have just ruined my red pen. But yeah, Nick Hoffman ruined the pin and everything. Now he's definitely not pickable. So I'm going to throw that away. We're not going to do the red pin anymore. That was a bad idea. But Hoffman, I think he's going to be good. I just don't think he's going to be as good as some of these other guys. You got Justin Peck on there. He has only made the show on Saturday 1 time in his entire career out of 8 different times. A lot of people were picking Peck in the comment section. He used to be a midget guy. Now he's a full-time wing guy. And he just hasn't put it all together here recently for me. Joe B. Miller, 2 out of 9 A-main appearances for him on Saturday. I mentioned him in the Monday video as well. You got Briggs Danner in the Alex Bowman Racing 55. You got Ashton Torgerson in the 67K for Keith Kunz Motorsports. He's never made the show before on Saturday. Best run of 11th on a prelim night. And then you've got Brent Cruz on there as well. He is 1 for 3 in making the show on Saturday. For me, I talked about it on Monday. I just think that this guy is way too good to pass up. The kid, he is so consistent. He doesn't make very many mistakes, and he had a fantastic 2024, and I think that's going to carry over into 2025. For me, I'm going to go, oh, is my pen broken? No, it's not. Okay, there we go. Briggs Danner is my Monday pick in Group 2. And like I said in the other pool pick video, I'm going to do 2 or 3 pools more than likely, and I'm going to be splitting between him, I would say Joe B. Miller and Brent Cruz. Those are my top 3 for the Monday Group 2 selections there. Now let's go on to Tuesday, and we've got all these drivers. Got 5 of them right there. And okay, now let's move on to Wednesday. So Wednesday is looking pretty good here. 6 drivers. No, I'm just kidding. But Zach Dahm, for me, it's not even close. I mean, he is the best driver in this group, in my opinion. And if this was last year when he was driving the Bondio cars, I don't even think he would be in the, I don't even think I would be looking at him for this, honestly, but he's in a car that is very fast, a car that he's ran quite a bit this year. He's won a race or 2 in, I believe. He's made the Chili Bowl A-Main 8 out of 19 times. Most of those coming here in the more recent years. You've also got Jonathan Beeson on the board, 7 out of 19 for him. Ricky Thornton Jr., obviously he's going to be good. I think he's capable of making the Saturday main event, but is he going to be as good as a guy like Zach Dahm that races these cars all year? Absolutely not. In my opinion, Ricky Thornton Jr. is about 1 group too high. If he was Group 3, I'd probably think about him a lot more. Kevin Thomas Jr., teammate to Briggs Danner, he's made it 3 out of 13 times, so not very good odds for him when it comes to making the Saturday feature. And then you got Landon Brooks on the board as well in the Matt Wood Racing car. Thornton, I forgot to mention, was a best finish of 6th on a prelim night in his career, and Brooks a 7th best finish for him as well. But for me, it is far and above. Zach Dahm is the number 1 guy in Group 2 on Tuesday night. If I had to rank the top 3, for me, it would probably go Dahm and then KT and then maybe Beeson. I think that'd be the top 3 for me. And then you'd probably put, I don't know, Brooks and Thornton. I feel like they're pretty close in skill level and whatnot when it comes to the midget side of things. So Zach Dahm, far and away, is the guy for me. So far, we've got Briggs Danner and Zach Dahm. Now let's go on to Wednesday. We've got Kyle Cummins at the top of the board there on the Wednesday night. He has made the show 1 time out of 6. You got Mitchell Moles on the board as well in the Reinbold Underwood Motorsports car. 1 out of 5 Saturday main event appearances for him. Colby Copeland in the 27W, a teammate to Landon Brooks. He is at 5 out of 11 times in his career. Tim Buckwalter, teammate to Hank Davis, 2 out of 7. Blake Hahn in the 52 at 5 out of 12. And then you got Jake Swanson on there as well out of 2 A-mains out of 11. For me, this is the toughest group on the board. Honestly, you can make a case for each and every one of these guys. There was a couple years ago when Kyle Cummins showed up like on the day of the race. I feel like he wasn't even supposed to be there, or he just had a kid or something, and he showed up super late. He almost won the prelim night, finished 2nd, had a great run on Saturday, but that's the only time he's been able to make the Saturday portion. Mitchell Moles, I talked about him yesterday. He is so fast, but he just kind of gets into a lot of wrecks throughout the year, and I feel like that could carry over into the Chili Bowl as well. Obviously, you don't want to pick guys who are going to wreck, right? So for me, it's too risky for Mitchell Moles, and he's only made the show once in his career. Then you got Colby Copeland, 5 times for him. Tim Buckwalter, I don't know. For me, the one guy that I'm going to take in this one, just because he's been so consistent year after year, which makes it more impressive that he barely ever runs a midget, but only once a year for the Chili Bowl, and it's going to be Colby Copeland. Probably a guy that's majorly unknown to a lot of dirt racing fans. They don't really maybe know who this guy is. California sprint car racer, co-owns Silver Dollar Speedway. He wins a couple of races each and every year, whether it's a 360 or a 410 out there on the West Coast. And he makes out of everybody in this group, he's made the show the most out of everybody. Him and Blake Hahn have made it 5 times. So if I were to rank this group, best 3 guys, it's Copeland number 1 for me, Hahn number 2, and Jake Swanson at number 3. Swanson's numbers don't look very good. He's only made it 2 out of 11 times in his career. But as I mentioned several times, the cars he is driving are absolutely spectacular. Jake Swanson is a very, very good race car driver. I think no doubt about it, he is going to be in the Saturday feature. But I think that Colby Copeland, come that Saturday feature, is going to be finishing in front of him, at least in my opinion. No offense to Tim Buckwalter, Mitchell Moles, or Kyle Cummins, but for this pool, I'm going to take Colby Copeland Group 2 on Wednesday night. Now let's move on to Thursday. We've got Carter Sarf on the board. We've got Shane Cottle. The throttle is right there in the 7M. You got CJ Leary in the 55V, Jacob Denny in the 67, and Ryan Bernal in the 87W. Denny is the only driver in this group that has not been able to make the Saturday main event before in his career. And if you haven't noticed, this is why this one was so tough. All of these guys have been able to make the Saturday feature. None of the other groups were able to say that. But Carter Sarf, I really, really like him a lot. I think he's a sleeper pick to take in that Thursday group. He's been good all year long. He's driving a car that he's only ran maybe once or twice before, but I think he's going to be just fine. Shane Cottle, if I was still using that red marker, he would be scratched out. I am not a huge fan of those cars he's driving, and Cottle has not made the Saturday feature in quite a long time, although he has made it 10 out of 25 times in his career, but it's been quite a few years before we saw him back in that Saturday main event. CJ Leary is definitely in my top 3. He's made it 5 out of 12 times. Jacob Denny, best run on a prelim night, is a 6th place result for him. And then Ryan Bernal, he has made it 3 times in his career, also a top 5 finisher in the Saturday portion of the Chili Bowl before. But you're all wondering, who am I going to take in this one? And I think I'm going to take the only guy that has not made the Saturday portion before, and it's a little bit risky, but I'm going with Jacob Denny. He's in a brand new car that he's never raced before with Keith Kunz Motorsports, but we know that KKM, I mean, the setups, they've got him absolutely dialed in. And Jacob Denny looks super fast at the end of the year, almost won a couple of races with USAC. So for him, he's my number 1 guy. Number 2, probably going to be Carter Sarf. And then number 3 would be CJ Leary. So when I make 2 or 3 other pools, I'm going to be splitting between those 3 guys, Sarf, Leary, and Denny. But for this video in particular, we're going to go with Jacob Denny in the 67. Now, moving on to our final group here for Friday, we got Michael Facino in the 5U. We've got Darren Pittman, who I am repping here in this video. We've got Michael Pickens in the 54, Ricky Stenhouse Jr. in the 86X, and Gavin Miller in the 97. So, looking at this group here, Gavin Miller, the only one that has not been able to make it the Saturday main event. He's only tried, I think, twice before. His best run was a 9th place result. Ricky Stenhouse Jr. has made the Saturday feature at the Chili Bowl 8 times out of 17 tries. Darren Pittman, the same for him, 8 A-mains in 22 attempts. Michael Pickens, 6 out of 11, and Michael Facento at 3 out of 10. Should be 4 out of 10, but if you know the insider information there, or if you pay attention, you know why it's 3. It should have been 4. I'm going to leave that up to you guys to remember what happened there. But Facino is definitely one of the guys that I would keep an eye on here in this group. Like I said, when I do those 3 pools, I will be picking him for sure in one of them. But out of all these guys on the board, I'm going to have to go with another Keith Kunz car with a driver that is very, very underrated. We don't get to see him all that much here in the United States. I'm going to go with the Kiwi, Michael Pickens, in car number 54. He's made it 6 out of 11 times. He made the show last year, but did not get to start the feature. I think had a mechanical problem go wrong. He wasn't even driving a Keith Kunz car. He was driving a different car and was able to make the show. And now he's in a KKM car. We know those cars do not break or have any kind of mechanical failures very often at all. And so I'm going to go with Pickens. I think he absolutely wheels the hell out of these midgets. But if I had to make a top 3, it's going to be Pickens, then Facino, and then honestly, I think Ricky Stenhouse Jr. When he gets in the midget, he's able to pick it up pretty quickly. But we'll see if he's able to make it there for the practice day or not. If not, then that might be a little bit sketchy. But if he can get out there, run practice day on Sunday, and then show up on Friday and have a little bit of seat time before getting in there for the prelim night, Ricky Stenhouse Jr. could certainly turn some heads, or he could turn over. We'll have to wait and see how it works out for him. But those are my Group 2 picks. I'm feeling pretty good about them. Got Briggs Danner for Monday, Zach Dahm for Tuesday, Colby Copeland for Wednesday, Jacob Denny for Thursday, and Friday is Michael Pickens in the 54. So in my experience as a former Chili Bowl champion in the pool in 2023, these guys right here, your Group 2 guys, much like your Group 1s, these guys, I mean, they almost need to make the show on Saturday in order to get yourself in position to win this pool. All of these guys have got to make the show. And looking at who I've picked, I feel pretty confident that all of them will be able to make the show. Out of them right now, the only one that I'd be a little bit worried about, to be honest with you, is probably Jacob Denny, just because he's in a new car. But other than that, I think the guys I have here are a mix of speed, skill, and a couple of them are maybe a little bit underrated, which, maybe a guy will pass over a Colby Copeland and want to go for a Blake Hahn, right? Maybe a guy will pass over a Briggs Danner and want to go for a Joe B. Miller. Maybe somebody will pass over Michael Pickens and go for Ricky Stenhouse Jr., right? I'm trying to pick guys that are good, but not everybody's picking, and maybe it'll work out in my favor later on. So, and if it does work out in my favor, it'll work out in your guys' favor as well for that giveaway. So let me know your picks down below for Group 2. Tomorrow we'll be back for the Group 3 selection show, as well as the Friday preview for the Chili Bowl Nationals. Tonight, we are going to a hockey game, the Columbus Blue Jackets versus Seattle Kraken. We'll see how it goes. The Jackets are in a playoff spot right now, so we'll see if they can hang on to that. Thank you guys so much for watching. Make sure to hit like, hit subscribe, comment down below, and we'll talk to you guys again soon.